It's like 1 a.m. in India, so I'm just a bit sleepy. But I will be reading a couple of multilingual poems again, and it's the first poem is called Guldasta, which means a bouquet of flowers in Farsi, but it also means like an anthology of like other like shorter poems. And I was really worried because I use a lot of like Bengali script sometimes in my poems, and I was like, oh, like, you know, will it fit? And it did, all thanks to Aaron. So yeah, thanks a lot to Broken Sleep, I think, to, you know, it just works because Aaron was very patient, and he really made me feel comfortable with, you know, my usage of like different languages. But right, this is Guldasta. ख्वाब में तुम शहजादा, सफेद घोड़ी शायरी, गलत उलझी मैं, मुझे उर्दू तक नहीं आती. All songs are part-time lullabies under open skies in Montgomery Park. I take a loop around the Royal Mile at midnight. Stolen milk tastes better in chai. Maybe I should have stolen a taste of you, Frieda khalo in a saree. The first time I saw you, you knotted your eyes at the sun, unibrow, collarbone, starched shirt, Kolapuris. Maybe I fell in love. मेरे पुराने से शहर में ना लहरें है ना तेरे लफ्ज, फिर भी कुछ खत है. But if you roll your vowels round like I do, then in Bengali, khoto means a wound, a paper cut at Barisans. Adhora adhura sham, 8 p.m. clouds over Arthur's seat like scratches on an old Begum Akhtar record. That tune you hummed, that tune which stayed on my tongue like a cigarette burn, that guzzle about moonlight skipping town, leaving you wanting, waiting. Galat ulji main, mujhe raat bhar neend tak nahi aati. You spoke in wet spots and prodigal fingers, crocheting my skin with needles sharper than my tongue, stinging more than my pride, clinging to my breath, your words, power cuts in late July, with thunderstorms and lukewarm lal chai, summers in New York, glistering sea salt, soft jazz with clothes off. Nowadays, the pandemic pattern looks like your hip bones in high-waisted jeans, a Dostoevsky hiccup from a girl in love in a Russian city. Ek Marlboro ka dabba, my friends and I used to fill Champagali with smoke. Honey sticks, cold white anger. When the white frangipanis bloomed in the late summer of 2019, we weren't there. But I remember you reading Railka, lifting a flower from the road, tucking it behind my ear. Kash wo guldasta hamara bhi hota. I would trade all the amultash of Delhi, the spring and the aadhi, to walk with you in our old college campus. Galat uljhi main, tumhe meri yaad tak nahi aati. So the refrain that I use is Kash wo guldasta hamara bhi hota, which means that I wish these bouquet of flowers would be mine as well. Next poem that I'm reading is called Can You Smell a Memory in Vacuum? 66.25 million years ago, volcanoes erupted at the Western Ghats. So I could light a candle and bottle you up in the Deccan trap. I must remember how you smelled that day. You in your white helmet and green sweater. It was spring in Edinburgh, confetti of blossoms. Your hair catching dew, sloshing against my palms in waves. You laughed at our legs entangled in the North Sea at Portobello. Said, "Is gair mulk mein mohabbat na kar baithe hum." I saw faces of poets who were refugees within their motherland, their mother tongue. After you left, you sent a postcard, a picture of the Bass Rock. We were northern gannets perched on volcanic cliffs overlooking the Berwick Island. Your body a paperweight, holding me down after breakfast. We watched petal dance from your kitchen countertop and discussed Chekhov. You said Russian authors could sense God. On Liberton windows, water froze in tiger prints. I excavated the tip of your tongue from double-decker duvets, a morsel of affection, cross-border dole during thundersnow in Scotland. You filled your cycle basket with funeral flowers, daisies, rowan berries. Said, "This is how you must imagine me, lal paneer, crabble in direct sunlight, lips rattling in sleep. Tiptoes on your bathroom tile, breaking the surface tension of should I leave or should I stay? In my arms, you spoke in closed captions, shoved your language in my mouth. On surface level, tongue became language. Your head, cumulonimbus clouds, a forest of fern in Darjeeling, the first sip of oolong. Your mouth, proper poetry, brined in languages inviting censorship, obscenity trials, and sedition in my country. आजकल इस मुल्क में इश्क भी इनकलाब है. The last line means that love is a revolution in my country these days. The next poem that I'm reading is called Tonight I Feel Like My Last Lover. This came out in the Dark Horse. And this was the first time I felt like an actual poet. So yeah. Tonight I feel like my last lover. I want to touch my forehead against yours and breathe in yours, because time almost always smells like your winter jacket, catching snow in New York City, cider, cedarwood, and November in libraries. Beneath the poetry section, wedged between Malarme and the sanitizer dispenser, you were discussing Cervantes with your friends in Castilian, and I could make out familiar words. Spanish is phonetic, regional. Shakira, introductory lessons during third year of college, soap operas. In a community, language is signifiers borrowed from each household. In Calcutta rooftops, language is just an excuse to dissolve at touch, and mouths which falter on Saturdays. You paused twice, I faltered. Frozen, perceived. My hands traced the spine of an untranslated heptameron at tills. Your eyes, traffic lights, slow yellow, deadpanning me red. You look at me, you don't see through, you don't accidentally brush past. You hold my gaze, I look away. The moon makes an appearance, I rehearse goodbyes. Behind the bast rock, the moon costs £1.45. One-way memorabilia. For a brief second, beneath the poetry section, wedged between phonology and passport jackets, uninterrupted debates on Cajito. The rest simply noise. The city, the traffic, the language, just two strangers trying not to break eye contact. Does gaze return gaze? Is it better to hold you instead? Tonight, I feel like my last lover, when we almost bartered coffee for skin, and the claustrophobia of Calcutta kept me distracted as we dug into French toast at Francesca's. In the kitchen, Ma wants to bake milk into domesticity. She boils palm sap for dessert. I want to kiss the past. I want to hold your mouth in my palms and drink you for dinner. And the last poem that I'm going to read is a tribute, a homage to Edinburgh. And I wrote this collection, like I began this collection in Edinburgh during the lockdown, during the pandemic. And this is literally a love letter to Edinburgh that I miss. I miss that city every day. But yeah. A bookmark is a repeat visit. A bookmark is a repeat visit. You fold my skin into corners. Now I am a dog-eared excuse of a lover. Home is a repeat visit. So is a gallery at Holyrood. Habit, history, visitor. I look at art to look away from home. Under fiber optic linear lamps, my solitude, self-portrait oil on canvas, is both holy and hollow. Nietzsche calls the moon a tomcat on the roof, and dearest of thieves, you entered my terrace and gouged out my eyes, and I stopped seeing for myself. You picked up my eyeball like a fish head in your mouth. I swayed in waves. Desire was high tide, was entrails of the moon, was its intestines and innards, was your hand on my wrist, was a noose around the butterfly effect of what could have been. There's a saying in Edinburgh in the local cognate dialect, once you kiss me, you cannot unkiss me. Vortex of arms and limbs, fragments and mistaken chances. One more look at you before leaving. One more, one more, one more. Thank you. That's all from me.